Welcome, little friends, to our channel. We're so happy you're here to join us. Get ready to explore, relax, and enjoy some fun and exciting stories together. Now, let's dive into today's adventures. The Lost Kite. One sunny afternoon, Tom went out to fly his red kite. The wind was perfect, and his kite soared high in the sky. But suddenly, the string snapped, and the kite drifted away. Tom was sad, but then his friends came to help. Together, they searched all over the park until they found the kite stuck in a tree. With teamwork, they managed to get it down. Tom realized that even when things go wrong, good friends can always make things better. The little star's wish. High up in the sky, there was a little star who dreamed of shining as brightly as the big stars around her. Every night, she would twinkle her best, but she felt small and unnoticed. One evening, a little girl on Earth saw the star and made a wish upon it. The star twinkled brighter than ever, realizing that even though she was small, she was special to someone. From then on, the little star twinkled proudly, knowing she made wishes come true. Slowpoke the snail was known for being very slow, but he was also known for always stopping to help his friends. One day, Slowpoke was on his way to a picnic when he saw a ladybug stuck in the mud. Without hesitation, he helped pull her out. Then, he came across a caterpillar who needed help finding her way home. By the time Slowpoke got to the picnic, it was almost over, but his friends saved him some food. They were grateful for his kindness and said that being helpful was more important than being fast. The brave little ant. In a busy ant colony, there was a small ant named Andy who always wanted to be brave like the bigger ants. One day, a strong wind blew and knocked over a huge leaf, blocking the entrance to the colony. All the ants were worried, but Andy had an idea. He gathered a group of ants, and together they worked to move the leaf bit by bit. Though he was small, Andy's bravery and clever thinking saved the day, and the whole colony celebrated him as a hero. The magic paintbrush. Lily was a little girl who loved to paint. One day, she found an old paintbrush in the attic. When she started painting with it, something magical happened. Everything she painted came to life. She painted a tree, and it grew tall in her backyard. She painted a bird, and it flew away into the sky. Lily used the magic paintbrush to create a beautiful garden for everyone in the neighborhood to enjoy. She learned that with creativity, you can bring joy to others. The smiling crocodile. In a faraway forest, there was a crocodile named Saul. Despite having sharp teeth and a fierce appearance, Saul was the kindest and happiest animal in the forest. The most special thing about Saul was his smile. Unlike other crocodiles that kept their mouths shut, Saul would often grin widely whenever something made him happy. One day, while Saul was sitting under a tree, a little squirrel suddenly slipped and fell from a branch. Instead of being frightened, Saul laughed loudly and said, "Don't worry, it's just a little fall." From that moment on, Saul's smile spread throughout the forest, making anyone who encountered difficulties feel better. All the animals in the forest loved Saul, and he became a symbol of joy and kindness. Hong and her backward hat. Hong had a hat that she absolutely loved. Every time she went out to play, she would wear it, but she always wore it backward. Although her mother had reminded her many times to wear the hat properly, Hong still preferred wearing it backward because she thought it was funny and unique. One day, when Hong went to the park with her mother, she was still wearing her beloved backward hat. Suddenly, a small bird flew down and landed right on Hong's hat. Everyone in the park saw the scene and laughed joyfully, praising Hong's unique style. From that moment on, Hong no longer worried about wearing her hat backward. Instead, she felt proud for creating her own special style. The big dream of Little Pig. Little Pig Hong had a very special dream, to fly like the birds in the sky. Every night, Hong dreamed of having big wings, gliding through the white clouds, looking down at the wonderful world below. Even though his friends teased him, saying that pigs could never fly, Hong never gave up on his dream. One day, while Hong was walking by the river, he saw a large hot air balloon. Filled with curiosity and the desire to fly, Hong climbed into the basket of the balloon. Slowly, the balloon began to rise, lifting Hong higher and higher. Even without wings, Hong had achieved his dream of soaring through the sky. The feeling of looking at the world from above filled Hong with joy. When he returned to the ground, Hong excitedly told his friends about the amazing experience, and from that day on, everyone agreed that no dream is too far-fetched. The Adventurous Frog. In a peaceful little pond, there was a frog named Zan. Unlike the other frogs in the pond, Zan always dreamed of exploring the world beyond. Every time he saw birds flying far towards the horizon, Zan would feel excited and yearn for adventure. One day, Zan decided to leave the pond and begin his journey. He hopped through the meadow, crossed the forest, and reached a big river. At first, Zan was a bit scared, but then he remembered his dream and bravely jumped into the river. There, Zan met fish larger than he'd ever seen and listened to stories about the vast ocean. After a long day of adventure, Zan returned to his pond. Even though he hadn't gone too far, the journey had opened up a whole new world for Zan, and he felt proud for having stepped out of his small pond. The Lost Sock Story. That morning, little Lynn was getting ready for school, just like every other day. But when she went to find her favorite pair of socks, Lynn discovered that only one sock was lying on the bed. She searched every corner of her room, but still couldn't find the missing sock. Even though she had looked all over the house, the sock remained lost. Lynn had no choice but to go to school with a different pair of socks, but all day long, she couldn't stop thinking about the lost one. After school, Lynn continued her search but still had no luck. Suddenly, while Lynn was playing with her pet cat, she noticed the cat scratching at something under the bed. Lynn bent down to check and found the missing sock stuck underneath. Lynn couldn't believe it. It turned out her playful cat had dragged the sock under the bed. From that day on, Lynn was careful to keep her socks safe and never let the cat play with her clothes again. The rooster who learned to sing, T, was a little rooster living on a farm with many other animals. T had a strange dream, to sing like a bird. Every morning, when the birds chirped beautifully in the trees, T listened closely. He wished he could make such lovely sounds instead of just crowing cock-a-doodle-doo like the other roosters. One day, T decided to start practicing his singing. At first, his sounds were very funny, like off-key notes. All the animals on the farm laughed at T, but he didn't give up and practiced diligently every day. Slowly, T's voice became clearer and started sounding more like a bird's song. One morning, as the sunlight spread across the field, T suddenly sang a beautiful melody. The farm animals were amazed and admired him. From that day on, T became known as the rooster who could sing, bringing joy to everyone. The brave little turtle. Tina was a tiny turtle who always admired the fast rabbits and deer in the forest. She wished she could move as quickly as they did. One day, while walking through the woods, Tina saw a group of animals gathered by a big river. The animals were afraid to cross the river because the current was strong. Though Tina was slow, she was brave. She decided to dive in and swim across. With determination, she slowly but steadily made it to the other side. The other animals cheered for her, realizing that bravery isn't about speed, but about courage. The Cat Who Loved the Rain. Whiskers the cat lived in a cozy house with its owner Emma. Most cats disliked the rain, but not Whiskers. Every time it rained, Whiskers would sit by the window, staring at the raindrops as they danced on the glass. One rainy afternoon, Whiskers decided to step outside. To his surprise, he found the rain refreshing and playful. He hopped through puddles and chased raindrops as if they were toys. When Emma saw how much fun Whiskers was having, she joined him with an umbrella. From that day on, rainy days became their favorite time to play. The Butterfly Who Wanted to Dance. Bella was a butterfly who loved watching the birds dance in the sky. She admired how they swooped and twirled gracefully. One day, Bella decided she wanted to dance like the birds too. She flapped her wings and spun in the air, but it wasn't as smooth as she had imagined. Despite feeling a bit clumsy, Bella kept practicing. Eventually, she created her own style of dancing that was as unique as her colorful wings. All the other butterflies cheered her on, and Bella realized that dancing in her own way was what made it special. The Curious Little Squirrel. In a big forest, there was a little squirrel named Sam who was very curious about everything. One day, Sam saw a rainbow after a rainstorm and wondered where it ended. Determined to find out, He followed the rainbow through the trees and across streams. After a long adventure, Sam reached the end of the rainbow, only to find a field of colorful flowers instead of treasure. Sam learned that sometimes the journey is the real treasure, full of beautiful discoveries. Thank you, little friends, for watching until the end of the show. If you enjoyed the stories, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on more exciting stories. Goodbye for now, and see you next time.